So often that the narrative has been, oh, all these AI systems are fed with Western data, or the data is westernized. We don't have our own data and we complain. We'll have to start having the conversation locally, because if we are not careful, we are also going to have very biased AI systems. How are we going to have that? So in Ghana, we have urban bias when it comes to recruitment. It appears every company, when they want to recruit, it is either Accra, Kumasi, or Takoradi. Is there another city? So this, and all of them have to come there. So if on the CV, right, the person stated maybe Accra or Kumasi, you already are going to get some regional bias in there. If you are not stepping in, the stepping in is the audit. Somebody must open it up to find out, how did AI come by this decision, and was it fair? Was it ethical? Because I want to see an AI system that gives equal chance to somebody who attended Polytechnic in Tamale, who has also the same skill set, or the nuance, like somebody who attended UG. I hope you understand. Yeah. So if you are feeding the AI system with everything UG, everything KNUST, then the AI system begins to build that bias already. So if you feed this into the system, this Tamale person that I'm talking about who attended the Polytechnic there, it's not going to get that chance. So we are criticizing the West that all the AI systems that we are having are all fed with their own data. We have to start here, ensuring that the data we feed in is balanced, right? That's what I wanted to add.
Thank you. I would want you to rather answer the next set of questions, Mr. Naughty or Mrs. Phyllis. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, so I want to acknowledge a few people before we take the next set of questions. We have Mrs. Akwile Buli, who is an HR consultant and an HR change maker. Please, Mrs. Akwile, if you are here, let's see you by hand. Let's appreciate you. Okay, I'm sure she's somewhere here. And then we have reps from the National Labor Commission. If you are here, please give us a hand. The reps from the National Labor Commission. Okay. We have Mr. Kwabena Yeboah, HR Director of GCB. If you are here, please give us a hand. I can see him, yes. Let's appreciate Mr. Kwabena Yeboah, HR Director of GCB. Hey, GCB, oh, don't you say about GCB. Please appreciate him. And he's also a facilitator at the HR Certification Center, if I'm right. Yeah, so the HR Certification Center is also at the back if you want to talk to them, where he serves as a facilitator. And also Mrs. Evelyn Trinto, HR Manager, Heritage Lab. Mrs. Evelyn, is she here? Okay, let's appreciate Mrs. Evelyn. Mrs. Mavis Boatin, HR Manager of True Moringa. Mrs. Mavis Boatin. All right. And then we have the Director of HR, National Communications Authority, Dr. Charles Wilson. Is he here? Yes, that's Dr. Charles. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. And finally, Mr. Emmanuel Woyome, Strategic HR Leader. Mr. Woyome, is he here? Mr. Woyome. Okay, he's at the back. He's at the back. He's at the back. And one more person, Mr. Peter Yao Bosuruchi, Manager for HR Business Partnering. Is he here? Mr. Peter Yao Boruchi. Okay, so we'll acknowledge a few people as the session goes on. So, Chairman, please, your question, brief question, and then we call it a wrap.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Brendorf, and I'm a student. I wanted to ask briefly if there is monitoring for the AI tools that we use, because just recently I created an email address, but I never knew that I took a time to read the terms of their policy, and I realized Google tracks the videos I watch, the comments I make on people's posts and everything. So going forward using AI, I want to know if there is monitoring with the tool, because as you use it, is it open to other data, or are we exposed to anything? I want to know the dangers in using AI. Thank you.
Who's going for it?
Okay, maybe I can touch
Sure.
a bit on that. So I think we spoke earlier about regulations, both locally and globally as well, within the European space, the Americas, etc. I think with your specific concern about Google tracking your search pages and what you do, that is a feature that you can actually turn off on your Google page. I think when you go to setting and privacy, you can turn that off. Also, we've mentioned that regardless of what you do, you need to be able to track what data or what information you put in AI. It has to be, whilst there's regulation on how it is utilized, we can't say that for 100% we are where we need to be to regulate it, because technology, as we've come to know it, can move very, very fast. And sometimes we need to play catch up. But as users of some of these technologies and tools, like Prof said, you need to be able to track and have a knowledge as to how to actually use the tool, so it is more beneficial and not detrimental to what you needed to provide for you. I think back in 2018, Amazon had to discontinue the use of a particular recruitment AI tool because of a tag word women's. So it basically was downgrading applicants who were female and of a certain marginal group because of that particular tag phrase. And that is what we are called to do. If we want to utilize the tool, we need to learn how to properly use it and be able to track what information we feed it and what we are getting out of it. Thank you.
Okay, and let me also add that normally when you are using most of these tools, it comes with, privacy policies, terms and conditions. I'm not sure how many of us really take our time, to read this, because for most of these tools that they are, out there, and most of them are free. So the question is that, these are, organizations that have spent, lots of money to build these systems, and you are benefiting from it. So the question is, how do they also benefit? And a lot of time what happens is that, they feed on the data. So the data, they give you the service for free. However, you are also, giving your data to them in return. And so if you're someone who is concerned about, data-related issues, you've got to be able to read more on the privacy policies and then also the terms and conditions, because all these things are clearly stated. And you also have to be knowledgeable about, use of the tools. For instance, Google allows you to, turn off certain things, even on Facebook and most of these social media platforms that we use.
Thank you. Chairman, final question.
Yes. So, up until recently, some of the references that ChatGPT used to give when you asked them to, give you a solution to a particular prompt, the references were not, accurate, were not right. And I'm asking, HR profession currently we are at an inflection point and adapting to AI. The question I want to ask is, in adapting, can AI ever be wrong when you put in the data? Because the prompts that you are entering, in learning how to input those prompts, AI assists you in doing that learning. So the question is, can AI ever be wrong? Putting in the accurate data, the prompt and all that. When the results come out, can it be wrong? And if it can be wrong, how can we identify those points so that we can apply HI, human intelligence, and use that to solve our recruitment, selection, compensation, those issues? Thank you.
As AI puts you in trouble, Chairman.
Oh, pa.
Thank you for that question. Who is going for it, please?
Okay. So can AI be wrong? Yes, AI gets it wrong all the time. Because you probably are not looking in the right places and auditing, stepping into it to check. It's just like a relative of mine. She just dumps it in, copies, right? So she copied one time, and I think the lecturer found her out that she used AI to do it, and the lecturer didn't like it. So now I'm sure you know that there are humanizing tools, right? So they go and write it, and they use a humanizing tool to polish it, right? Which will remove all the former filters, so it becomes like he or she wrote it, right? And then they go and submit it. What I'm saying is that please don't be this person. It would augment. The word is augment. It's not supposed to write everything for you. It is helping you. Don't leave everything to AI. But now, this is how AI gets it wrong. We have all this while been talking about data, right? When it doesn't have it, it can't give it to you. I hope you understand, right? Well, in natural language processing, we'll call this bag of words. It's as if every word in the world has been put into a bag, right? And when you ask for the prompt or the query, and then it quickly looks through the bag and gives you a response, right? So if it doesn't have it, if nobody has raised that question, if nobody has ever fed the AI with that data or that query or that prompt, then it's not going to give you. So the conversation around the world now is how AI, if you are not careful, will knock our heads together, right? So AI is going to cheat, but it will cheat in a manner that you will never know that he cheated, right? And so imagine AI giving advice to President Mahama or the presidency that we should go to war with, say, Togo. If we look at everything it says, maybe it's right that we should go to war, but this is AI, cheating. All I'm saying is that step in. Let us not remove, we call this the man in the loop, if you understand it. It appears that when we are, fascinated or fixated about this, we over-automate. We are over-automated. Something that a human being can do is that suddenly you have become all too lazy for everything. Everything you want the AI to do it for you. I don't want to drag it, but there are different levels of AI. Currently, what we have is the narrow AI. So it's just for a particular purpose, right? It cannot solve all the problems, right? So that's what I would say until we get to the general intelligence that may take about 30 years or so. So yes, it gets it wrong. Yes.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate Prof, Mr. Norte, and then Mrs. Wontumi. Let's do it better for them, please. All right. So you can please have your seat for us. Thank you once again. We are so grateful for making time for today's session. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And talking about narrow AI, we want to narrow down to the exhibition stands. It's an HR tech playground. We've been sitting for a while. So the MD of Lene HR, Mr. James La, and then the Director in charge of innovations at the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, will just walk us through the auditorium. We'll visit the various stands. They will tell us what they do, what they are using AI to do in the business world. So if you've been sitting for a while, this is your time for you to just walk around the various exhibition stands, ask your questions, and see what people are using AI to do in business. All right, sorry about that. So kindly come up, say, for a group picture. Prof, Ben, and then Mrs. Phyllis for a group picture. Oh, I can see my chairman clapping. Please, let's clap, let's clap. Yes, let's clap, let's clap. It's not easy to stand in front of people and just make a presentation. All right. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we want to go straight into a brief tour. We'll visit the various exhibition stands led by Mr. James La and then Mr. Emmanuel Ofori. So you can. I don't know if you need a microphone to.
All right, so we have Supreme Healthcare Management and Employee Assistance Program, which is EAP Accra, a subsidiary of Supreme Healthcare Management Services. So what we do is workplace, mostly on Employee Assistance Program, because usually we tend to think that at the gate and just focus on work, but it doesn't happen that way. There's financial challenges and all that. Yes, they can come to work. They can even decide to push their troubles to the back of their mind somehow. But at some point, you see that it hits on them. And so what we do is at the workplace provide support for these people. So we work with a myriad of professionals. We have psychologists, psychotherapists, economics, occupational health and safety professionals. We have nutritionists. So a composite of everything wellness at one point. And what we do is that we feed what employees tell us to management so that you can also look at your workplace and per the advice we have given you through the teams, also be able to support employees. It is a confidential service.
For free?
It is not free, but I mean, research shows that what you invest in coffees and teas at the office is far more expensive than investing in employee assistance program. And in November, we are having a Pan-Africa conference, so we invite you to join our conference.
Remoting is an outsourcing and tech company. Outsourcing and tech company. Yes. So we use AI. So we're talking about AI, and from recruitment to onboarding to performance management, and also to learning and development. So with AI, what the system, we have an inbuilt system where we put in the job title, where it's able to populate it with a job description, which you can edit to fit whatever you want. And then also you can post it out onto the website. Then people can apply through that.
Thank you.
Okay. So, CGTS. Please tell us what you do.
Yeah, for CGTS, it's a tech company. We focus on three main areas. As you can see, SAP, SD, and the open text. For SAP, the focus on all areas of operations within the business. So we have workflow management, data management, operations, and other stuff, retail, manufacturing, and all that. But when it comes to data management, the software is the one you are seeing on the screen, which is more or less like a demo. So we call it success factor. So that focuses only on data management. It's an implement for all the data applications and the model that we have. So that is the one. This is a mobile application. It's showing that you can fill out things on the phone. And so you don't need to be in the office to approve of somebody's leave. You can be anywhere to show approve on certain areas of management you want to approve on. And so this is a mobile application is showing. You can finish here and go into the web app for you to see how that one also works. But that notwithstanding, I will talk about the second one, which is the open text application. Now with the open text application, it scans documents and posts it for you. And then even locations of people, addresses of people, the system should be able to do it. So we want to give an assignment to the system and say, pick all email addresses from 1980 to 2024 on the scan document. The system should be able to pick it because it's using AI. So the system should be able to pick for it. So that is different from scan document. And so that is what it does. So the document management helps you to access your files so easy. Now also, we have done that for death and death registry, and so we have digitized all the documents for them. And so you should be able to access documents easily. Ghana's death and death, and we use the open text. Sometimes it's also very difficult for lawyers and judges to access their big books and then data that they have. And so with open text, the system should be able to summarize everything. Hundreds of pages of documents, you'll be able to summarize it and give it to you in 1 page, 10 page, or 20 page with key information that you need. Open text should be able to do that. And so the application cuts across all areas and it helps to make. All right, yes, yes. So we are partners with SAP. And SAP, as we all know, is an internationally acclaimed software company. And so all the models of the HR that you are seeing on the screen there is from SAP. Yes, and we are partners, and we provide for the HR application, we provide also for operations and all other operational areas within businesses. So that is also SAP. All right, thank you so much for coming, and then please you can pick one of that. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
So it's our name is Boostmate. It's an ambassador marketing platform. So what we do is we enable brands and marketing agencies to be able to launch any kind of awareness, engagement, content creation campaigns to educate people about what they do, to get them sales. You can even actually make affiliates on the platform, all through the platform. We have over 1,000 people, digital promoters, content creators, nano and micro influencers looking forward to these gigs for a fee or a reward, as far as even discount codes. And when you don't know what to do, even how to run the strategy, we have the AI-powered bot that allows you to do the whole strategy and launch without even thinking through it. You just need to tell it what your business does and what the goal you are looking forward to achieve.
Hello? Right, so my name is Lars. I'm the business lead for Dobison. Dobison Ghana Limited is a VR company. So we are currently the leading VR company in Ghana. And for HR, we've been able to simulate the operations of several heavy-duty companies in virtual reality. So we've helped with their staff onboarding, their training, their staff safety, and having to reduce logistics, traveling to on-site to experience whatever happens there. So we've done that for companies like Rigweld, Newmont, Mantrack, to help with their staff onboarding and their training. So for virtual reality, that's what we've been able to do. For real estate too, we've been able to do what we call virtual tours. So most of these real estate developers are trying to sell to diasporans, but they have to wait for the diasporans to come to Ghana to come and see the property, and it elongates the whole sales cycle. So we've been able to do virtual tours so that they can advertise properly to these clients who are trying to buy properties without them having to come. So they can actually have a 360 view of the progress of the project and see the project in real time, how it actually looks like. That's what we call virtual tours. And we've been able to do this even for properties that are not built yet. So maybe we want to build a property in 3 or 4 years' time. We can use the 3D assets to create a virtual tour of what the property is going to look like when it's done. So we've been able to use this for staff onboarding, staff training, and to train your staff for whatever you are trying to do. Maybe you are an engineering company. Instead of making the whole staff travel to on-site to see what you do there, you've been able to simulate all of that into virtual reality. So you're able to train your staff, international and local, using the virtual reality. What I done? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So, yes, pay and do. So this is a remittance company. So we remit money from the UK, US, Canada, Australia, down to 22 African countries currently. So Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya. You haven't received it just yet. So we have created a business portal that will allow the business to track the transfers that are coming in and when it comes in, and then the name of the client that is making that payment. This is to help businesses to track all the payment they are receiving from their international clients, and also to be able to have a reconciliation sheet onto that dashboard. So we do the integration for the businesses on there, on our app, and all the client has to do is download the app and make payments to the businesses. Yeah, thank you so much.
This is Voice Limited, and we are into digital business card, where you can easily share your contacts with your people, either by scanning the QR code or tapping with phones that has NFC. And with this, once you have it, it comes with an app where you can edit your profile. So whatever contact you want to share with people, it's already on the app. You edit as and when you want. There's no need printing call cards where if there's a mistake on the call card, then it means you have to go and edit or reprint. With this, one card serves a lot of purpose. One card can also have multiple profiles. Or you can have, let's say you work with GCB, and then you work with another company. You can still have profiles of those companies in one account. Yeah. Okay, we can actually help him at one. So aside the digital business card, it also serves as ID card for companies, where companies can have it for their staff members, especially the sales team. When they go out to collect leads, then the company has it on a dashboard where they get the number of people they've access to. So on the dashboard, you see that maybe this person was able to collect this contact details behind the dashboard. And then it serves as company ID card, event pass as well. So one card does a lot of things, but the basic thing it does is sharing contacts and exchanging contacts. Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon. We are with AO Holdings Ghana. We are a Microsoft partner for Ghana, and we provide solutions for organizations to cut costs and increase productivity. We provide ERP solutions, Office 365, and human resource solutions for companies. Yes, we've been in Ghana for like 8 years.
Digital. So that's AO Holdings. All right. So we can just pick any of this, right? Okay, thank you. So we'll go to the next exhibition stand. Please be brief with your presentation. Just give us the product benefits, the product features, and then the customer benefits. So we move to the next. Are you giving us free DSTV? My boss, I should ask. Are you giving us free DSTV? Okay, so please speak into the microphone. So DSTV is here. If you want to continue for us, payments plan, discount.
So if you want a good payment plan, you want something for your business, you want something for your home, come to DSTV stand. We have some really nice packages for all of you. Yes.
Okay, so next season is just next month. So for the guys who come to the stand because
yes, for all your home entertainment, your sports, your news, your documentaries, we are here for you.
Right.
Just come here.
Thank you very much, DSTV. So we are moving on to the next exhibition stand. And we have, who do we have here? Detrix Tech Solutions. What do you do? Please walk us through quickly.
Hi everyone, we are Datrix Tech Solutions. We offer software solutions for every industry. We help build websites, ERPs, or anything. But currently we are here for HR Fellow, which is our in-house product. We built this software for lean teams, small teams to manage their HR processes from staff onboarding to resignation. So that is what HR Fellow is about.
Do you have any discounts for us?
Sorry?
Any discounts for any company that wants to sign up real quick? There's something like that.
You come.
Think about it. We'll come back. All right. Thank you so much. Datrix Tech Solutions. So you are into websites and then ERP, among others. Thank you. Okay. So we'll go to the final. Oh, there are a few more. Sure. So in the next 5 minutes, we'll finish with the tour. So we have Mango Blocks. Yes, Mr. Benjamin Norte's company. So please walk us through what you do real quick, the product features, the benefits, customer benefits.
Yes, so we are into robotics and AI. So this is one of our products. It's an AI robot. We call it Cello.
Okay.
So Cello can be used in different scenarios.
Can you do a demonstration for us?
Yes, he will do the demonstration.
Okay.
So within the banking and financial services, we deploy Cello to interact with customers. So once a customer comes, Cello, if we still have access to your data, Cello can recognize person and then give you a personalized greeting, mention your name, and start interaction with you. If we still have, a lot of insights about your previous transaction in the bank, Cello can begin to start a conversation regarding, your previous conversation, and it can even begin to predict why you came to the bank, because, it has a lot of data about you. It also has a queue management system. So once you get into the space, Cello can issue a ticket to you and tell you that you are queue number so and so. You can actually go and wait outside. When it's almost your turn, it can send you an SMS and tell you that, hey, it's your turn, just come closer. So you don't have to be in the queue. You can do other things whilst you're, doing other things. And we can actually also integrate it into your core banking application so that it does a lot of the interaction. We also use it in the healthcare and hospital. You can actually use Cello as your new receptionist. So once Cello sees people, it can begin to welcome them, assuming the person came to have an appointment. Okay, we have an app. The person books an appointment. Once you get to the reception, Cello knows that, oh, you're here for an appointment, and then he can send a message to whoever is expecting you, and then he can actually connect. So within front desk, Cello can do a lot, and we also use it at events and conferences.
Mr. Ben, just talk to Cello real quick for us.
Okay, so we're gonna do some demo.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's a lot of noise. But I think in our promotional video.
I'm here and ready to assist you. How are you doing today?
Okay, Cello, how can my boss increase my salary? Cello, how can my boss increase my salary?
You're welcome. I hope your channel continues to grow, and I'm here if you need any tips for creating engaging content or interacting with your subscribers.
Okay, Cello, you don't want to answer my question. Thank you, Cello. We'll move to the next table. All UPSC students, kindly move to your bus. Your bus is waiting for you. All UPSC students, kindly move to your bus. UPSC students, kindly move to your bus. We have two more, I think. We are wrapping up in the next 3 minutes for this particular session, the tour. We are wrapping up in 3 minutes. So we have MasterCard Foundation. There's Generation Ghana. Which other company again? Kauri. What do you do, Kauri? Real quick, talk to us. Oh, Generation Ghana. Mess, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll come back to you. No, Mess, talk first.
Africa. MEST stands for, Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology. So currently, today we are here on the GROW program. The GROW program stands for Ghana Remote and Online Work. What we do is we train young people who are done with university, people who have done their national service. We train them for 4 months. We equip them with digital skills. Some of the skills being web development, digital marketing, digital customer service, data analytics. We give them the skills that they need to actually thrive on the work market when it comes to these skills. So for 4 months, they are with us. We teach them everything that they need, and after the 4 months, they do something called internship immersion. We match them with companies that are looking for some of these skills to work with, so they get hands-on experience of how it is to work on the job market. After, if the companies are interested, they maintain them and then we give them full employment. So the program is actually free. They don't pay anything. For the period that they are with us, we give them laptops. We also give them stipends that they can use. The laptops we use to actually practicalize what they are learning on the program as well.
So they have actually trained all 50 ICT people, and they are ready for employment. So they are going to have speed interviews here for some of them to
everyone
be
you see in the blue shirt, you can see some guys around. They have gone through the program, and then they are equipped with the skills, the skills that they need So you can interact with them. They will also come out to interact with you as well. So they are web developers, and then we also have digital marketers as well.
All right, thank you. So talking about the speed interviews, the stand is ready. It's just close to the walkway to the washroom. So if you're interested in the speed interviews, please make your way to the right side of the hall. Yes, the speed interview. So just visit the stand, the walkway to the washroom on your right. The speed interview stage or stand is ready. Finally, we have all right, Kari, please walk us through in 1 minute.
Okay. So you're welcome to Kari. We have Kari for business and Kari for consumer. But in a nutshell, Kari is a financial platform that enables people, businesses to collect online seamlessly. We have so many other features that enables the business to have a back-end view in real time, what's happening, how to be able to have access to financial reports and all of those seamless transactions. So we are there to enable, we integrate with your system, and then we understand what you do, the workflow, and how we can make administrative work easy for you. So it's not just about collecting, it's about collecting and making work easy for you. So it's a two-in-one combo.
So collecting and making work easy for us. So to help us track everything we are spending on in one app.
Yes.
That's Kari.
We can integrate with your system and then understand lookup services for you. So if you're a business and your client say pays 10 cities, you don't need an administrator to come and deduct all those stuff. Our systems integrates with you and does that in real time for you.
Okay, I'll come back to Kari. I'm interested in this one.
Big businesses we have.
Thank you. All right, so workflow, finally, workflow. Mr. La, please, I'll indulge you. Workflow is the last stand for us to visit. So sorry about that, workflow. So workflow is here. We have come to workflow. So workflow, flow with us in 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. This is Workflow by Lene, and this is the motherboard.
Sure.
So we have an HR and payroll software that streamlines your HR needs, your payroll needs. And for HR, there's the employee management, performance management, leave management. For payroll, there's payroll processing, your SNIT and tax reports. It's a multi-company software. So if you have subsidiaries, you can always include them and have separate segregated databases for them. And for your employees, they have access to a self-portal where they will be able to access and then see whatever is happening in the company, their information. They can generate their pay slips once the payroll is run. And then they can also make for requests, salary advance requests, loan requests. So basically that is Workflow by Lene.
I like the loan request. Thank you very much. All right, so Mr. La, Mr. Manofori, thank you so much for making time for this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. Oh, they are eating, they can't clap. All right, thank you. So please, let's have our seats. So later on, we'll visit the other stands. I mentioned already. All right, ladies and gentlemen, kindly come back to your seats for us. Let's continue with the program. And again, I mentioned earlier, those who are interested in the speed interviews, you can locate the various stands. Just on my my left, the walkway to the washroom, you can locate the various speed interview stands. Oh, members, let's please come back to our seats. Time is running out. Let's finish this real quick. Exhibitors, kindly hold on for now. We want all participants to come back to their seats for us to continue today's program. Those who are eating, please be fast. left as well. I forgot to mention every Are we done, exhibitors? Are we done?
It's your all-in-one people platform. HR has come a long way, from clunky filing cabinets to color-coded spreadsheets. Need top talent? Let AI recruitment and intelligent onboarding bring the right people in and get them thriving from day one. Boost engagement with performance management that employees are fully transparent.
Developing a website from scratch. Throughout the program, I was able to build a marketplace for farmers. I was able to build a movie streaming app, a car company, car sales company, and other like super stuff. And after the program, I've gone on to work on other projects. For instance, I built a website for my NGO, and I'm also building an e-commerce app for a beauty brand. If you're a woman considering web development, I'll say that you should totally go for it. It's great. It's a life-changing experience that you'll never forget.
My name is Lako Jabate, and I was part of Cohort 3 Web Development Grow program. I would say that after the program, I have been set for life because I have gained a valuable skill that has helped me create web apps, work on other projects with some developers.
Since 2024, we have managed to train about 420 young people, both in Accra and Kumasi. Most of them are women. If you are interested in hiring some of the talent that we have trained, you can send an email to recruitment.skills @meltwater.org. You can also follow our social media handles, MEST Africa and Generation Ghana.
For 30 years, we've been redefining HR. Now, all that experience comes together in Workflow, the tool designed to help HR teams thrive. Handle payroll processing quickly and accurately. Keep your HR tasks and employee records organized so nothing falls through the cracks. Give employees control through the self-portal for requests and information. Ready to make HR effortless? Your helping hand in navigating the ever-evolving world of HR is here. Call us today on 0302 717 039 or 0302 716 986 to get started. Ready, set, go! For 30 years, we've been...
Do you know the HR software that gives you peace of mind? Follow me. Let me show you Vista Workplace. This is not just another HR system. It's your all-in-one people platform. HR has come a long way, from clunky filing cabinets to color-coded spreadsheets. Need top talent? Let AI recruitment and intelligent onboarding bring the right people in and get them thriving from day one. Boost engagement with performance management that employees love. Feedback-driven, goal-aligned, and fully transparent. Run error-free, compliant, smart payroll. Automated, secure, and always on time. Upskill your workforce with built-in learning and development, tailored to every role and career. And when employees need answers, they can ask HR, your 24/7 intelligent HR assistant. Vista Workplace, HR made human. Let's build your best workplace together.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are welcome back. Once again, exhibitors, please hold on for now. We want our various participants to come back to their seats. There will be another session for us to have the tour. And whilst you're waiting for people to have their seats, if there's a seat, an empty seat in front of you, please occupy that seat for us, for there to be uniformity in the auditorium. So we beg you, if there's an empty seat in front of you, kindly occupy that seat for us, real quick, for us to continue. Thank you for the silence. I love the silence. We need a silence for the next session. So if we can hold on with the various conversations, I would be extremely grateful. Okay, so I can see So we're about to have a presentation from a distinguished speaker. And I'll read his profile briefly, and he'll walk us through his presentation. Please, are you ready for the presentation? Are we hungry or we are tired? What's the vibe? You are hungry? Oh, I gave you options now. There's free Nescafe. If you eat right now, you may doze off. So just go for a coffee on my left. Go to the Nescafe stand and then make yourself comfortable. If you want a proper dish, we have gone cashless. So My people, there's free Nescafe. You don't want Nescafe. So what do you want? Tell me. Pardon? Jollof. Nigerian jollof or Ghanaian jollof? Ghanaian jollof. Which other thing, please? Jollof. What again? Pardon? Kebab. Oh, kebab, they know be food though. All right. That was just by the way. So if you want jollof, I'll make sure that our team members work on jollof for you. Okay. So before I introduce our speaker, I just want us to give ourselves a round of applause for staying with us up until, clap for, not for me, for yourself, yes. Do it better for your own self, do it better for your own self. And a special thank you to all those who ran away from work to be here. I hope God is still protecting you. No one has spotted you yet. If someone finds you out, God will protect you again. Amen. Okay, let me acknowledge a few more people and then I bring my next speaker on stage. Once again, we are proudly sponsored by Workflow by Lene HR, Samara Group, KGL, Mest Africa, and Newmont Group. And this is powered by HR Focus Universe. Earlier in the morning, I mentioned our placards were going around. If you want to be a part of our community, the placards will be going around, or the QR code will be on the screen. You can just scan and be a part of our community. It comes with amazing discounts and amazing offers. So please look out for the QR code or the placards and then be a part of our community. We want to acknowledge Daniel Adonu, HR business partner, Telecel. Is Daniel Adonu here? Daniel Adonu, HR business partner, Telecel. I'm sure he's somewhere around. And then Juliana Samuel Mensah, head HR management unit, Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Okay. Giftila, Acacia Health Insurance, HR business partner. Do we have Giftila here? All right. And Daniel L. Mills, head of commercial business, Petrosol. We have David L. Mills. David. Okay, so the acknowledgements will go on in the course of the session. Next on the item, we have a presentation from NITA. And then NITA is the National Information Technology Agency. That's NITA. And to have that presentation, we'll have Solomon Kofi Richardson from NITA to give us the presentation. But before he comes, let me just read his profile real quick. Solomon Kofi Richardson has over 16 years of post-qualification experience in IT, telecom management, largely in the public sector. He is currently the head of Technical Services Department within the National Information Technology Agency, NITA, which is the ICT regulator for Ghana and also the agency within government responsible for digitalization. Solomon has served in various capacities within NITA over the years. He holds a BSc in Computer Science and MSc in Telecom Management. Solomon has been key in the deployment of the e-government infrastructure for the government of Ghana. He led in the design, deployment, and management of the e-government infrastructure, which includes data centers, fiber optic network, 4G network, microwave networks, local area network, security operations center, public key infrastructure, and a host of other government shared infrastructure. Again, Solomon now plays a critical role in shaping the digitalization agenda for Ghana by the way of developing e-government frameworks, reviewing and selecting technological solutions, and ensuring policy, organizational, legal, and technology alignment across governments. He also spends a lot of his time sharing Ghana's digital journey experience with other African countries to help them approach their implementation in a more cost-effective and efficient manner. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome Solomon Kofi Richardson from NITA. Let's do it better for him as he comes. Please louder, louder, louder for Solomon Kofi Richardson. You're welcome, sir.
Hi. I think it's good afternoon to you all. They said HR Tech Playground. In your daily practice, then you want to understand what the journey is all about. You want to understand the risk involved. You want to understand what you are going into, and largely also understand how Ghana's digitalization is positioned and how do you fit in. For you also to know how you are positioning yourself as an HR practitioner in the coming year. So if you look at what you've been doing, let me give a typical example. If I say, I want to sell this phone of mine, through whichever medium, I will advertise that I want to sell this phone. You come to me and you take the phone, you look at it, you do a few stuff on there, and satisfy yourself that indeed it's a good phone that you want to. I tell you the price, you take it, we negotiate, we agree on a price, you give me cash. And then once I take the cash, I count. And I'm satisfied that the amount we have agreed on is exactly what you have given me. It was a face-to-face transaction. You've seen the phone, you like it, you've given me money, I have counted it, we are all satisfied. You go your way, I go my way. But in this day where we are talking about digitalization, where if I want to sell this phone, you don't see me. Probably I might also not see you. But we can do that whole transaction, and you get your phone, I get my money. How do we deal with the issue of that? If I want to sell this phone, you don't see me. Probably I might also not see you. You saw the HR, and they had a conversation that, okay, so now you saw the HR. And they had a conversation that, okay, so now, and not some fake people who are trying to scam him. So that is the aspect that we want to talk about today. We want to talk about digital trust. As we are migrating all our processes onto a digital platform within the digital ecosystem. Trust. So that is what our conversation is going to be about. The technical people, am I going to get something I can use to go through the presentation, or you will help me out? I can't find. Okay, yeah, let's go from the ICT regulator. We can move on. Okay, I guess I have to calm down myself. So I hope you don't mind. Okay, so we are talking about Digital Ghana. So, Government of Ghana, under its Digital Ghana vision, has taken major initiatives to make the human capital, of which you are the custodian. Digitopia, to begin a new job at Analogia. So he's moved from Digitopia to Analogia. With a new job, no local support because she's new in that area. She doesn't know anybody. No local support network. And a child to care for. Doing things remotely isn't a luxury for her. It's essential. Please, let's continue. Okay, so let's look at these scenarios. Aisha needs to open a bank account because she's moved to a new area. The bank is requesting an in-person visit to verify her identity. She tries enrolling Amina in a school and transferring her medical records. The school is insisting that, please, bring paper, come and take the forms, fill it, and for us to deal with you. She finds an apartment online and is ready to begin a lease. The landlord says that, I don't, please, come, let me see you, let's negotiate, give me my money if you still want the house. Then Amina also finds a job in the new place as a freelance so she can move around. But the client claims a clause was different, so they have sent her a contract that they have reviewed. Amina has signed, but when the final thing was sent, the company says that, you changed this clause. This was not the clause, the initial clause that we reviewed. We see that you've made some change to it, and that is what you have signed. Amina says, I have not changed any clause. This is what you sent me. How do we know that the sanctity of that contract is intact? These are some of the things that we want to talk about. Please, let's go. So, for all these things that we've spoken about, you will find that we have something in common. At the center of all this, we are talking about trust. The bank wants to see you in person so they can verify. It is about trust, who they are dealing with. The landlord wants to see you. I mean, nowadays, even when they want to know the church you attend and all those sort of things before they rent their house to you, it's about trust. The HR person that you signed a contract wants you to be there. You have reviewed the final thing. They all okay. You sign, I sign, trust that nobody has made that change. So we can see that for all these scenarios that we've mentioned, what is common to all of this is digital trust. That is what we are talking about. We want to talk about digital trust. Techies, let's go. So why would I trust something I have never seen before? Let's go. Bridging the issue of digital trust, the role of e-signature and public key infrastructure. I will go a bit technical, bear with me. We'll try not to be too technical, just a bit, so you can understand what is public key infrastructure. It's a technology that has been adopted globally now that is used for authentication and verification. So the public key infrastructure, it is a technology that is used for authentication and verification. You can use it to authenticate and verify an individual. You can use it to authenticate and verify a document. You can use it to authenticate and verify a service. So that is what the PKI is for. Basically, the PKI is an encryption technology. It works with two keys. You have a public key and a private key. So if you are participating within the PKI space, you have two keys, a public key and a private key. What you do is you take your private key that you keep very, very, very securely. And then what you do is that you use it to sign or encrypt the document or whatever it is that you want to. Then for your public key, you put it out that everybody can have access to. So anytime anybody says that I have a document from Solomon, you see any document that claims to come from Solomon, what you do is that you take the public key that he has put out and you try use it to see if it can decrypt the document or open the document. If it does, then that means that the document is authentic. If it does not, then that means that it's not coming from. So all this while where you have the situation where you have fake documents in the system claiming to be from the presidency. If it's from the presidency, then when you take the presidency public key, it should be able to decrypt it for you to know that it is authentic. So it is a way of fighting against misinformation, fake documents, and all those sort of things. You sit here, you get certificates and all those sort of things. How do you verify that these certificates from University of Ghana, KNUST, it's really an authentic certificate? That is what the PKI is for. And of course, on the back of the PKI, you are able to have electronic signature, which also now cannot be faked. So these are the two things that is going to help us transform Ghana with all this agenda. Can we go on? Okay, so very quickly, when we talk about the e-signature, there are some basic things you are trying to find. The who, the why, and the what. You are trying to deal with the issue of identification, attribute, endorsement, and integrity. Please, let's go on. We are going back to Amina. Back in Digitopia, that's Aisha. Aisha's digital signature opened every door, but in Analogia, they said, sorry, we don't recognize this certificate. She must re-sign, re-verify, reapply for everything. All the 4 scenarios that we gave you, because she has moved from Digitopia to Analogia, they said that she has to do everything again. You stay in maybe Liberia, and then you schooled in Liberia. You move to Ghana, your certificate, how do we verify that this certificate? Do we still, in these days, have to write a letter to the university to verify that certificate? How do we go about it? How will we be able to verify these documents in real time? So these are the things that we want to look at very quickly. So then that means that apart from dealing with the issue within Amina's new environment, we also have to deal with the issue of cross-border. We also have to deal with the issue of cross-border. And as HR practitioners, you should be very interested in this cross-border transaction. Please, let's go. So we are going to talk about cross-border, issue of electronic signature, the level of assurances related to these issues, and of course, trust, as I've mentioned, the issue of trust. Please, let's go on. And because someone will move from Liberia to Ghana, someone will move from Ghana to Liberia, and now we are dealing with a globalization, the issue of interoperability also comes in. So whatever technology that you are adopting, you have to make sure that you are adopting a technology that can interoperate with other systems. Please, let's go. It's a bit technical, but I'm coming home. Please, let's come home. Let's go. Please, move to the very end of everything. So in Ghana, our PKI national framework is, oh, you've moved too fast. Okay, here. Our PKI national architecture is something like this. I will not bore you too much with this one, but this is how we maintain the sanctity of all the digital certificates that the PKI, we have deployed 3 use cases. Then I will move to the next use cases that we are trying to deploy. Everybody has a Ghana card. What you need to know is that currently your Ghana card that you have, the PKI that we mentioned. So everybody's Ghana card, your data that has been collected, have signed, digitally signed, for anybody to fake this your Ghana card. It makes it very, very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult. Ghana has moved on to a new visa system that also is used, PKI is used for the visa system, making it also impossible for people who are coming into Ghana to fake Ghana visa and then enter our country. Then there's a new passport. I don't know how many of you have applied for a passport now. You'll find out that it is a bit different from the old passport that we all know. If you haven't, the next time you apply for a passport, it's something different altogether. This passport now is a chip-embedded passport. This passport is one that they have integrated the PKI, and so meaning that one too, people cannot fake it. So these 3 use cases we have deployed. But what are the new use cases? Those are the very exciting ones that I want you to know, where the HR people, you tag in very well. Let's go, please. So right now, the idea, what government is trying to do is that for every citizen document, any government organization that deals with a citizen document, they will have to digitally sign this document. Number 1, your DVLA document, the driver's license itself, and the car, how do you call that? The registration for the car. All that document will have to be digitally signed. Your school certificate, your WAEC, your university certificate, all those certificates right now will have to be signed. So I have other documents that we are asking plus more. That the government is insisting that right now every government organization, so when you go to GRA, when you go to SNET and you take SNET's certificate, it will now be digitally signed, meaning that once it's digitally signed, it can no longer be faked. The interesting thing is that apart from it being digitally signed, you will have that digital component of it in what we call your electronic wallet. I don't know how many of you have downloaded the Citizens app. So if you take the Citizens app, for instance, you are going to get a wallet component of the Citizens app. In that wallet component, all your educational certificates in digital form is going to be there. Your driver's license will be there. Your Ghana card in digital form will be there. Almost all your documents, if you have land, your land title document will all be there in the digital form. Then what then happens is that you are able to digitally share this document. So an HR reached out to you, you came for the interview, we didn't get your certificate. There and there, you are able to share your, or any certificate, or certificate that you've done, you're able to share the digital version with the HR. Now, when you are sharing it, you're able to tell that I want to share this document for the next hour, for the next week, for the next month, or for the next year. After the duration of the sharing, the HR will no longer see that document again. Also, when the HR receives that document in real time, they are able to verify in real time without having to write letters, without having to send someone to check on all that. In real time, they are able to verify that was this certificate actually issued by University of Ghana, and was it issued to this person who claims that they received this document? You are able to check all that. So these are the platforms that we are trying to migrate all our certificates, all our documents as a citizen to. And the very moment we get there, maybe through your MTN app, you will have your wallet system over the electronic wallet that has all your documents in there. So the issue of there was a fire and so my certificate is destroyed is no longer there. The issue of, oh, I am in town. When I get home, I'll get the document and send it to you. It's going to be a thing of the past. When you get it, once you have your device with you, you are able to share that certificate there and there. So you can go to the interview, at the interview, share your document with there. The HR community will also be able to verify the document in real time. So we can take out the issue of doubt. I work for the government and we sit on a lot of doubt. I work for the government. Evaluation, I'm telling you, about 40 to 50% of the document that comes to you are all faked. And the people are getting sophisticated in how they fake these documents. And even we, the technology people, we are finding it very difficult to keep up. So these are some of the things that government is rolling out to make sure that we fight. Once we move to a digital platform, the issue of faking things, the issue of illegal documents and things like that will become a thing of the past. So as HR people, we want you to know all these journey that the government is taking. You position yourself when you are building systems, you know that things like this is coming. How will you integrate and then all that? So this is one thing that's where we agenda. So let us all work together. Let's know that we need to build digital trust. But digital trust goes beyond just these systems. It goes education and HR people. Since you handle training, you need to train your people on cybersecurity issues. You need to train your people to appreciate this technology platform. They were talking about AI. How do they use, how do they build capacity in there? So we need to train all that. All work together in building digital trust. The technology that I've showed over here is just a component of it. But training your workforce to appreciate the digital age is a big component of the digital trust that we are talking about. And then right now, even we are looking at something like ICT professionals, for instance, will also be registered and certified as well, like how cybersecurity, accounting, and all those sort of things. So we all need to work together to make sure that we are improving digital trust within the digital ecosystem that we are building, that we are adopting, so that you feel more comfortable dealing with these systems. People are not using Momo. Why? Because they have issue of trust for the Momo platforms. But if you're able to deal with the issue of digital trust very well, then adoption for these platforms is going to be very high. We can't afford not to adopt this system because globally everybody is moving. So if we say because of the issue of digital trust, we are not adopting the system, we get left behind. So it is your call, it is my call for us to work together to make sure that we let our issue of digital.
If you are comfortable with organization, and then you can ask your question.
I'm Grace, and I'm from Accra Tech University.
Okay.
And my question is, what's the full meaning of PKI? Yeah.
Hello, PKI is simply public key infrastructure. Public key infrastructure. Right.
Okay, let me be generous. Would you want to ask your question? All right, cool.
Thank you. My name is David Seidu. I'm with GCB Bank. My question is this. Nice topic, good delivery, but our country has a basic problem. The past governments roll out same models, and when new government came into place, they've actually abandoned those things. So HapTech, for instance, is struggling, and it's all because we try to associate them to the past government. I want to ask, this fine idea, how are we getting Ghanaians imbibed into it to make it our own, to ensure that it becomes very lasting and part of us? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Me standing in front of you today is part of the strategy to make sure it is part of you. It is part of me. This is an HR activity. But now, even before we fully deploy the system, we're trying to let people understand and appreciate. Sometimes people don't adopt technology just because they don't understand. There is the fear of the unknown. What will happen to that? What will happen to this? So we coming closer and sharing the experiences and trying to explain them, and for you to ask questions like this so we can answer, is part of the awareness creation and getting you to be comfortable with these solutions. On the issue of, and so now when we are some of these risks and see how to mitigate and deal with them as technology providers. So We are very willing to work with all the different associations to build capacity to let you appreciate what. But we think that you should know even before it happens, so that at least you are better positioned, you understand some of these things, you know even which institution is behind this, and when you need clarification, you can reach out to the institution. So we are doing a lot of stakeholder engagement. We are dealing with Bank of Ghana, we are dealing with all the stakeholders, like the document I showed. We are dealing with all those government agencies, and we are hoping that by the time we roll out these systems, you are already well informed and you know the risk associated, you know how well you can use them, and you buy into it and adopt it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One more question at the back. Final question. So please be brief, your name, your organization, if you are comfortable, and you ask your question.
Hi, thank you. My name is Araba. I work with Kauri. So concerning the wallets where you can keep your documentation, my question is, once you share that documentation with someone, how can you confirm that they have not downloaded or taken a screenshot? So how protected are you? And the next is that, can you choose to share only one document out of the pack, or once you are sharing everything?
Okay. So the reason why we are even rolling this out is to deal with what we call consent management. Consent management. You go to the bank, and then the bank says that they need to make a photocopy of your ID card. You don't know what they do with the ID card. You go to a hotel, they will also make a photocopy of your ID card. You don't know what they do with it, but it is a major concern. This time around, we said no. And then even some people, the bank, when they take it, how do you know what they do with that information? You have no idea. But this time around, we say that we are putting the power in your hands. You decide who you share it with and for how long you share it with. It has all the safeguards in terms of when you share, what the person can do with it. Because when they take a picture of it, now what was happening is that because we have built a new ecosystem, you will find out that nobody is asking for a picture of your identity or your certificate. And so when it's presented, nobody is taking it. Now the sharing mode is digital. So when you take a picture of it, it's useless. Because now you have to use the digital means to share it so that the person can also verify. And then when you share, yes, in your wallet, you can choose to share which particular document you are sharing with, and who you are sharing it with, and for what time. So if you say you want to share it for 1 hour, after that 1 hour, the person you shared it with will no longer see the document. You see, the way you do WhatsApp, and you put time there, if I send this message to you, after 1 hour, after 24 hours, it should disappear. It's similar. So after that, the person will no longer, but these technologies are very matured. We are not the first country that we are using. It's been around for some years right now. It has the necessary safeguards to make sure. And I think that if we are open-minded, we will find out that this is even better than even our physical way of sharing information. And that is how you and I will be very protected in all these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All other questions can be addressed to Solomon later on. Thank you very much, Solo. Let's give him a round of applause, please. All right. We're about to have our final panel discussion for the day. And before our panelists come on stage, I'll just read their profiles briefly and we get into it. Do we have Daniel Jampedu Omano? Sorry. Is it here, please? Daniel? Okay. And I've seen Jacqueline already. And George Akande. George Akande. Okay, right. So I'll read their profiles quickly, and then we get into the panel discussion. We have Jacqueline Sarkodie in the building, and then let's hear what Jacqueline has to say about herself. Jacqueline is the HR and operations lead at Clinton Health Access Initiative in Ghana, where she leads people strategy, team development, and compliance efforts. Trained as a lawyer in the UK and called to the Ghana Bar, Jacqueline brings legal and operational expertise to HR leadership with a deep understanding of regulatory frameworks and ethical consideration around employee data and workplace privacy. Her experience spans the World Bank, Amazon Fresh in London, and the Supreme Court of Ghana, with a strong foundation in people management, corporate law, finance, and strategic leadership. At CHAI, she focuses on attracting and supporting top talent and building internship partnership with institutions such as Harvard, NYU, and UC Berkeley. She's also the founder of the Times Group Institute, a non-profit helping young people in Africa prepare for the future of work. Jacqueline offers a grounded perspective on workplace data privacy, which balances compliance, innovation, and genuine care for people. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jacqueline Sarkodie. That's a rich profile. Let's do it better for her, please. That's a rich profile. Jacqueline, you're welcome. Please feel comfortable. All right. Next, we have Daniel Jampedu Omanu. And Daniel, when you come out, please help me with the pronunciation. I'm very sure I've murdered your name. Forgive me for that. Daniel is a dynamic and results-driven human resource manager with a track record in organizational leadership, people management, and compliance within the public sector. With a strong foundation in data privacy and extensive expertise in office administration and people management in health, academia, and public regulatory space, it brings a unique blend of strategic thinking and operational efficiency to his role at the Data Protection Commission. His ability to align HR policies with organizational objectives has contributed significantly to fostering a high-performance culture and ensuring regulatory compliance in line with Ghana's data protection framework. With a round of applause, let's welcome Daniel to join us on stage. Let's do it better for him, please. Let's encourage Daniel. Daniel, you are welcome. And finally, George Akande. Let me say something brief about George, and then we get into it. George, if you can hear me, please come up stage whilst I read your profile. Let's appreciate George Akande as he comes. Oh, Mitayana. Please don't share the thing. Stop sharing. They are not clapping. Stop sharing. Please clap for George. Oh. I'm not hearing the clap. Clap for George. Let me save your profile for another day. And to lead the panel discussion, we have a distinguished, I was going to say a young boy, sorry. A distinguished man. He's not a young boy. When he comes up, you know he's not a young boy. A distinguished man to lead the panel discussion. And right after reading his profile, I'll let you know what we'll be talking about or what we'll be discussing. Dr. Charles Amwa Wilson is an astute human resource practitioner with experience spanning over 2 decades in manufacturing, media, education, and banking in both private and public sectors. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Practitioners, Ghana, and mentor to several HR managers and graduate students. He is a distinguished alumnus, among others, St. Augustine's College, Cape Coast, University of Ghana, University of Colorado, USA, and amongst others. As Director, Human Resource at the National Communications Authority, Charles has the HR transformation drive of the authority, participated and facilitated many local and international conferences on human resource management in the telecommunication space. He was a recipient of the Exemplary Human Resource Business Leader of the Year, Public Sector, at the 4th Governance and Business Awards 2024. He was also the headline feature in the Boardroom magazine in July. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Charles, who will be leading us in this panel discussion. Let's do it better for Doc. So the topic is data privacy in the digital workplace, balancing innovation, compliance, and employee trust. A few minutes ago, we had a presentation on trust from Nita. So I read the topic once again. Data privacy in the digital workplace, balancing innovation, compliance, and employee trust. So the next 30 minutes, Doc will lead us in this panel discussion. Have a wonderful time.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's always difficult to sustain the attention of students and participants to conferences after lunch. But I will try and see what we can do as we travel this journey together. A friend who is a missionary, a Christian missionary, went to China. China is the manufacturing zone of the world. So he was preaching and asked a fellow, "Do you know Jesus?" And the guy said, "No, I don't. If you show me a sample, I'll produce one for you." Because they are utilizing technology, AI, and everything there is. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss this on the back of Solomon, the one who did the presentation from NITA, a sister company from where I work. I work with the National Communications Authority. I hope your telecoms experience is better. The quality of service you're having on your phones are better than before. All right. So let's just drive in. Our discussion will border on data privacy in the digital workplace, balancing innovation, compliance, and employee trust. So I will start with Jackie, very elegantly dressed. How do we strike the right balance, collecting useful information from employees, and how do we respect their personal boundaries? As HR, we collect data from your name to next of kin, family, medical records, and what have you. How do we balance this? By collecting this information, and we also respect your personal space as far as the information management is concerned. Jackie?
Thank you very much. Is it loud enough? Great. I'm happy to take this conversation because 3-4 years down the line, I worked with Amazon, and at the time, they had just launched their new product, which is to walk into a retail shop, pick whatever you want to buy, and just walk away. So the question then was, how are they even noticing that you are the one that walked into the store? So we had lots of customers who were not even willing to try the product. But what the product was is there was a QR code. You scan it, so it would take your details from your Amazon account. There are cameras, sensors in the shelves, so high technology, but very little insight. So there are lots of people who would say, "Oh, they are here for the devil, so I don't want them to have my details. I don't want to sell my soul," quote and unquote. There are lots of customers who said that. So it definitely shows that without trust, people are slow to accept initiative. So innovation is fast rolling out, but then the trust of the people would make it succeed or otherwise. Now let's bring it to the workplace. How do we balance taking sensitive information with compliance and trust? So compliance is one of the things that I think many corporations, they lose track of. And it costs millions of dollars when, as a corporation, you don't put in place good compliance structures, mainly because there are cost implications. So there are things that the law would prescribe to say you need to take 1 or 2 key details. So your identity cards, and I'm glad the presentation with the PKI spoke about that, how we are working on that. How do we, as companies, ensure that our workers trust that the information we are collecting it for the right reasons? Currently, in my company, Achai, we are rolling out a rigorous compliance buy-in by the strategic leadership to the staff. So we conduct lots of webinars, lots of training. It's not training to necessarily show you how to use the platform, but keep you aware the transparency that comes with using information, stuff we deserve to know. Why are we saying put in your next of kin details? It's because if we can't find you, who should we call? There could be a disaster anywhere. Last election, during the 7th December elections, we had to roll out a rigorous next of kin strategy. Have everyone at speed dial, including their relatives. Because should there be a war anywhere, we call you and we can't reach you. That's the way we would reach you. So it may look mundane. Why am I being asked as a staff to fill in these details? But there's a reason behind it. Because it could be that somebody went at post out of the office and we can't find them. Within working hours, how does the employer answer to that? So it's good for details that would serve a compliance purpose to be made clear. Why do we need them? And to build lots of buy-in. And that is the responsibility of the employer.
Thank you. So we had trusts for the previous speaker, and Jackie has emphasized it. We need to collect information and be able to contact the right people at the right time, should the need arise. Now, Daniel, so in spite of this trust, employees sometimes resort to monitoring of employees. I worked in a factory before. We had CCTVs along the line. One night, the security saw that the CCTV was blank. Someone had managed to point the camera towards the ceiling, and whatever was happening down there, we cannot say, but your guess is as good as mine. So in spite of these trust measures we have put in place, employers put together some monitoring schemes. How do we avoid crossing the line so that we are not being intrusive?
Thank you. So my name is Daniel Jampedu Omano, as you asked me to pronounce my name, from Data Protection Commission, the HR manager. And I bring you greetings from my executive director, Dr. Arnold Elton Kavapo. Then he was supposed to be here, asked me to come in and fill in his big shoes. So let me also thank Lene, HR, and HR Focus for putting together this initiative. I think it's a great assembly where we have HR tech innovators, we have regulators, in the case of myself, and then we have HR practitioners or professionals who are trying to bridge this evolution of technology with a great collaboration like this. And it's a great initiative. Thank you for inviting us to this space and to contribute to the discussion. I'm going to speak from the Data Protection Commission perspective as a regulator regarding this monitoring thing. Monitoring, when used, can be very productive. Apart from the CCTV, you can also bear with me that you can monitor employees' performance through what they're doing on their computers. You can install some things that can manage whatever that they're doing, the computer that you've assigned to them, whatever they're doing. A whole lot of monitoring skills, when used effectively, can yield production. But the question is, when does it become too much? I read a report where I think not here in the Western countries, Amazon was fined for covert monitoring their delivery drivers. They didn't know that they were being monitored on some secret installed cameras that they had in their cars, their delivery trucks and all that. And that became a data protection issue, and they were fined for that. At Data Protection Commission, we aspire data controllers, and I'll be using these terms frequently in my submission, so probably let me take this opportunity to explain who a data controller is. That is you, the organization, that collects information on the data subject, and the data subject is you, or all of us, the individual. So for example, you are an HR at your workplace. You, in recognition of the organization, you are the data controller because you collect a whole lot of information from personal identifiable information to medical records, performance appraisal records and all that. So you become the data controller. And then the people that you collect the information on them, they are the data subjects, so employees. Now we have data processors who are third parties that we bring in. For example, you tech innovators, you have these fanciful apps that we contract. So we feed these apps or softwares with information that we collect on these people into it. So you are a third processor, or what we call data processor. So you see, it's like a linkage, and data is traveling from all these points to another. Now, so that I don't sidetrack, let me come back to monitoring. This is the simple thing that if you want to stay in compliance and avoid being in their own scope with the Data Protection Commission, because we are the regulator, I would advise you do this. First of all, let your employees know that this is what we're doing. That is transparency. Let them know that this is what we are monitoring. These are the mechanisms we have put in place. These are the technologies that we have put in place. And for this resort, we are doing that. Let them know. Consent will be expected to be given, but we know that consent is not always given. They say consent is freely given, specific, unambiguous, but consent is not always like that. It's a legal gray area over there. But let employees know that this is what we're doing, and these are the results. You let them know and train them. Don't use it for any other purpose, because when you do that, that is when it becomes an issue. And if any of these data subjects, or if anyone feels that they are being over-monitored and they complain to us, we're going to take them on. We're going to take the data controller on, the organization on, and it won't be nice. And put it that way.
Okay. Daniel, thanks. So Daniel has been talking about the need to ensure there's transparency. You obtain consent from people before you monitor them. So typically, when you go to the hotels and other places, you see some green stickers. Sometimes it's blue. They say this place is monitored by CCTV. I hope you have seen some things like that. So they, right from the start, they tell you. And those are the things Daniel was talking about. And there's the ubiquitous one. Beware of dogs, which we have. So there's a dog with some sharp teeth watching you somewhere. So it is informing you. The landlord is being transparent that it should be. Once I saw say, beware of the dog, that means a particular wild dog. So we need to have consent to obtain information and also to monitor us. And Ghana has passed the Data Protection Act since 2012. I hope many of us are aware. Data Protection Act of 2012, and we have Electronic Transactions Act, the NCA Act, the NITA Act. All of these are acts or laws that seek to regulate collection of data, information, management of it, and the use of it in commercial transactions. So I will encourage that, just as Diana mentioned, we read more on the Data Protection Act. I'm sure if you Google government.org, GhanaGovernment.org, you may see those acts there. Now, George?
Yes.
How do organizations innovate whilst ensuring that data is also not misused? And we are in the era of innovation, electronic transactions, electronic wallets, and what have you. How do you ensure that all this information that are sitting on all these systems are not misused or used for the wrong purpose.
True. So I'll answer that question by briefly giving a little background on myself.
Okay.
So I'm slightly coming from a background of sports, whereby I own a sports agency, right? But overall, I also consult for teams globally to help them build systems in order for them to expand into new markets. And so a couple of years ago, I was helping a colleague's business, basically consulting for them in their business workflow, but at the same time, helping them to migrate to a new system, basically to innovate their data storage and ensuring that things just didn't get messed up. And it took a while because there was a bit of back and forth from the teams and da-da-da-da-da. And then finally, I was just like, you know what, guys, this bureaucracy is a bit too much. And so we went ahead to recommend a solution for them, right? A platform, which they could move on to, but which was also scalable for them to build other things on top, all right? But we had to come into an agreement to find out which data, which sort of information, would we need for that next stage, for this next set of, tools or products that you guys want to build. What isn't necessary? And with that, there were checklists being done, and and then we just decided to then migrate the system to the new one. So all in all, consensus has to be there, an agreement on what standard of data would be necessary for that next stage. Also keep employees abreast that, hey, we're moving into a new system, and this and this and this is going to be necessary. Else, you're going to find out that certain information just gets lost, and at the same time, you just miss the point in terms of innovating. So it's a balancing act you got to do. You got to manage your stakeholders. So like I always mention to HR professionals, your function isn't as a department, right? There's HR finance, there's HR legal. So you're going to be operating like a project manager who understands the ins and outs of the organization, so as to find out, what would be good for the organization in terms of both the human capital and the technology side of things, as well as the legal policy and all the likes. So you've got to look at it at the whole side, not just from, how can I put it, from the ground, but we've got to have like a bird's eye view to see everything in a very strategic way. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a whole cycle. It's a whole cycle in collecting data and managing it. And one of the things that, if those of us in HR, from time to time we seek to update records. And some of these are very confidential. And so sometimes you see staff are reluctant to provide the required information. And when you interrogate more, there are good reasons. Some are cultural reasons and other issues. For example, we are providing insurance cover for one spouse and not more than 4 children. Insurance cover for one spouse and not more than 4 children. So the staff has to complete a form or fill in a form and mention the spouse and the children. How does he manage when he has 2 wives? And so we come across a stumbling block. And he has 6 children with his 2 wives who are all under 18. And so what do you do? And you don't want to start a domestic warfare. And so these are challenges we face every day in HR. It's all about people. So Jackie, from your legal point of view, how do we explain this, the reasons why we are collecting this data, and how do we help staff to maneuver in these challenges? Is it one-off issue, or we should have regular sessions? how do we manage this so that staff will be comfortable providing this information, and how do we help them, especially from the legal point of view? The next of kin matter is also another issue. And you know, when you say mother in Ghana, it's very loose. It could be auntie, it could be grandmom. So we have had a few people whose mothers died. We go and do the grants, and the mother dies again. They notify us. Abba, how many mothers did you have? So these are issues. Right, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We've already established that communication is key. We have to be able to translate what the law says to our staff. The compliance rules would be in the Act, in the Protection Act, as to what is required to be taken. For example, if you're working with a foreigner, you need work permit. So you can't say, I want to withhold such information. I would need to know. So this is just one of the many examples I could cite. There are those that are required by law, and that should be clear. That's why in some forms they will tell you required with an asterisk. Or if you have excess to give us, we will take it as well. So next of kin, you can give us a spouse, you can give us a sibling, but if you believe you want to be better protected with 5 outlined, that's really up to you, but at least we need one for safety and security purposes. And I agree with what my colleague said. HR as a role goes with other disciplines. So from a legal perspective, it's good that every HR has an understanding of what the legal framework is. At least read something. Come for events like this one. You would hear something. You take it home with you. Today I'm hearing about PKI. I'm going to do my research. So you need to be abreast, at least to the barest minimum. Learn to translate that as well. Communication is key. So it wouldn't take a one-time conversation. No. It can sometimes take as many as systematic training sessions. My company, we have quarterly IT trainings on data protection. So every 3 months, IT will send you an email and notify the head if you haven't taken it within a number of weeks. So that's checks at that level. So you will take it. You take an assessment. You have to pass it. That means you must have read before you could pass. So the companies must be intentional to ensure that communication is being done, both of the legal framework and of what is practical. If you have to design something that's, say, a training course or regular in-person sessions like this, it can be virtual, it can be a course bot, subscribe to that your staff can use. They are all helpful, but compliance is an expensive risk, and you don't want to take it as a company. Thank you.
But so how often should we ask staff to update their records?
How often? I would say in the course of the year, you must be updated, because people even lose, for example, their next of kins. People have additional members of their family joining them. People change names, right? In the course of the year, a lot happens. So I believe this should be a leadership decision where leadership strategically sees how dynamic their staff base is. For us, we have a strict system that will cause you to do that every year. But quarterly, that's when we translate policies to staff. We do that every quarter. That's every 3 months. So leadership could decide what the budgets would be for that, but I think it's always worth it.
Thank you. So when it comes to, Daniel, it comes to multinationals. There are multinationals from all over the world operating in Ghana. In Ghana, the basic act or the law is the Data Protection Act of 2012. How do we unify, or how do we localize a multinational that is having has forms or collect data based on where they are coming from? Maybe US, UK, South Africa. In the absence of a unified data protection code in Africa, for example, How do these multinationals operate to ensure that they are abiding by the tenets of the Data Protection Act in Ghana and with international best practices?
All right. So out of about more than 50 countries we have in Africa, I think last I checked, more than 30 of them have data protection laws. And basically, the requirement is almost the same. I wouldn't say it is the same, but it's almost the same. But here we are dealing with multinational organizations that have employees in different countries. And I'll provide a simple roadmap for you. First of all, recognize the data protection rules or regulations of the country that you are in. So you could be a multinational organization. If you're the HR and you are in Ghana dealing with Ghanaian employees, your first go-to regulation should be the Data Protection Act 2012, Act 843. Before you consider any other regulation, because we hold the privacy and the data of Ghanaians supreme, and our laws reign supreme over any regulation. So far as the person is Ghanaian, the data originated from this country. So start from there. Recognize our rules, the Data Protection Act. Then you, in the organization, you can have some policies. So do that too. It is recommended in the Act. Have policies. Across our organization, it doesn't matter which country that you're in. Maybe, let me bring in this issue of monitoring. We do this kind of monitoring, covert, overt. We collect this kind of information or personal information. We collect this kind of data, sensitive data. Have a policy and train the employees on them. Let them know and know that this is what we're doing. That is across. So they've signed on to that. So the first point is recognize the country that you're in, the rules. Second, have a policy. And then you can benchmark it with other regulations, for example, the GDPR and other regulations that are recognized worldwide. That would be a good. But I think with Africa, there have been conventions. We are trying to come together. I think some, my boss has been attending a whole lot of conferences that I think they have that intention of coming together and having a unified African stand when it comes to data protection, and that is a good thing. It's something that we're praying that it comes to pass, and it's just going to help all of us. So let's look forward to that. Thank you.
Right. So, I mean, he talking about almost 50 countries having a data protection acts in Africa.
More than 30.
More than.
Some are on the way.
The last time I counted, we had 53 countries in Africa. I don't know whether some have been added again.
I don't know.
Yes.
These was the
Some countries split and added, others who leave and then they change their names. So 53, that's a big one. So most of our organizations are SMEs.
Yes.
And we are talking about data protection, we are talking about data collection and related issues. How do we as SMEs, small, medium enterprises, develop data governance policies with our limited resources? I mean, some one-man business, one-woman business, very small one, but by the act, every organization is supposed to have a data protection officer. So how do we develop policies that will govern our data protection processes?
Yeah. So I think everything starts from the business owner or the CEO. If that individual doesn't have the mindset to have these frameworks in place, it's going to be a hard sell for him or her. So the education is important for whoever wants to go into business or whoever is in business at the moment to realize that you need these protections on hand. So I would say that would be the first one, education. The second bit in there would be at what stage is this or that SME at? Because not all SMEs are at the same growth stage. Some are so early that they might not necessarily afford it. So is there that family member, friend, who can provide that legal service to you, right? So that you can actually be regulated, as early as possible. That for me is very important because size, not everyone can have that budget to start off with. So I think those are important. The education for every business owner to have that information, but at the same time, you also need to find out what growth stage are you in.
Okay, all right. So he has made a case for lawyers. You need a lawyer to draft the policy for you because it's based on law. You might not necessarily need to employ a lawyer. You could have a lawyer on retainer basis. He comes in and every now and then to do some job, you pay him or her, and she goes off. So that you'll be protected. Your policies are within law. And so, Jackie, with your legal background, and also HR background, that's a great combination. What data security risks are most prevalent in HR tech systems today? Especially coming from the US, every now and then there's a leakage, there's something has been shared unauthorized, and they are issuing disclaimers. They're asking us to update our passwords, a whole lot of things. It's on a daily basis in the US. And so, what are the most prevalent ones you are accustomed to?
Right. So you mentioned the unauthorized sharing of details. I think as HR professionals, that's one of the main things we are likely to encounter, that your systems are let loose to the access of those who would fall in the wrong hands. So all these cyber attacks, there are lots of, deep fakes, people impersonating others, even out of the working space. So your details, I remember there was this training at work where we were almost encouraged not to take a video ever again. That's how it impressed on some of us, because when we realized what data could be used for, just a simple picture on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, now you're wondering how far can your details go? Who is going to impersonate even your voice as we are speaking in the microphone? That's how bizarre the attack is. They are coming at us. But that's where systems are also in place. So they're smart, the systems are growing smarter. But we just have to be abreast with all the risks involved. Impersonation is real. Unauthorized access is real. People trying to even scam a whole system, you would realize as HR, you may be very close to leadership. So if you send an email to leadership about some bill, some payroll figures, it's likely to pass down if the average staff does so. So who is even using your email address? We have lots of trainings on email. What link are you even clicking on? How is it exposing the whole company to risk? So it goes beyond just putting in your name. It could be as far as links that are being shared across your safe platforms, even if you are using Outlook as a structured system, internal systems where you all pass information through. If one person gets compromised, then the budget of the whole corporation is at stake. So we are taking these conversations seriously. Companies are now realizing that they have to spend time and money to invest in these trainings, to prepare the stuff, so that when you see a link, you don't just click it. You hover your mouse a bit before you see, does it have a sketchy ending with a .com, .org, or something else that doesn't replicate what you're used to? Or it looks like your boss's email, but when you hover, there's something else in the back. These are all things that will come to light through training. That's how I got to learn. So I believe that this is a wake-up call to corporations to say, put in the money where your properties are, and that's in your stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. She could have said it better. So, HR members, we need to put our act together. You go to HR departments and there are files on the floor, files on table, open a jar, anybody can read. And in the area of digital phones, anybody can take a picture of any letter and they share with anybody. So we see letters from high places on social media. Don't you see them? And we also share. In fact, if it becomes a legal issue, those who share are also liable. So take notes. And we are supposed to the hard copies should be under lock and key. Your data room, anybody has access to it. Some places you go, that is where people come and eat their lunch. Exposing the files to the food aroma, cockroaches and rats, etc., etc. So we need to take our act together. You may need to attend a few programs organized by Lene on records management to boost your data security and records management skills. Would you do that? Good. So, what safeguards? Daniel, what safeguards can we put in place as far as designing or inputting our passwords? There are places you can even guess. Ekua Mensa 1, 2, 3. Ekua Mensa and then your date of birth. I'm sure we have people like that. Somebody has CD sign and dollar sign combined as your password. It's easy to guess. And the worst of it all, they write their password on their desktop paper. What safeguards can you put in place to secure data, especially password and others?
All right. So I think a while back we had some training. I recommend cybersecurity. I'll commend Cybersecurity Authority that they came in and trained us on that. They did this exercise with us. You write your password, I think you feed into a link, and then it will determine how strong it is. I don't remember that thing, but maybe you can go to the site and then find out. Regarding passwords, that is very important because back again, I'm going to direct this topic or this question to Data Protection Commission and what we do and what we require of data controllers or organizations. So we're dealing with systems, technologies, and they're advanced. I'll start with the acquisition of HR software and all that. We need to be sure, first of all, that when we're acquiring these systems that are going to require we feed in our passwords to it, that these systems are strong in themselves. So those that develop the systems, you HR tech innovators, did you develop these apps with privacy by design in your mind? It shouldn't be an afterthought, it should be a forethought as you're developing these apps. One thing that you should take into consideration is that it is privacy conscious, that fine, somebody could slip, make a mistake with a password or that, but is the system strong to at least complement that, meet them halfway and all that? Organizations should be sure to ask those questions. Are these tech innovators, are they compliant? Have they registered with the Data Protection Commission? The app itself that they are selling, have they done a DPIA on it? DPIA is Data Protection Impact Assessment. And that kind of, it just looks at the risks involved in using the app. So we commend or we recommend that organizations, whenever they are bringing on board systems, technologies, everything, they do a DPI on it, so that they can be sure that the risk can be managed. They identify the risks, then they find a way to curb it or stop it. So those are some of the things. It's a long list, but let me stop right here. Yeah, I could go on.
All right, thank you. So George, as we are rounding up, you'll have your take, and then we'll come back to Jackie. How do you create a workplace of digital responsibility, where we are each other's keeper? We are responsible for data security. It's not only the domain of IT. domain of HR, but everyone in finance, everyone in operations, everyone in production, everyone in procurement is responsible for data security. How do you create that culture?
Well, you said it in your last 2 words or so, culture. Does the organization have a mindset for security, right? Is there, basically everything is culture. This thing is really difficult, sort of like explain, because if you don't have that kind of mindset, that intentionality to design security for the team, for your colleagues and all the likes, then it'll be difficult, because 1 month, 3 months down the line, you realize that everyone's just doing their own thing. So everything will start from, I believe, recruitment. The kind of employee you're looking for. Have you sensed anything careless about he or she? If you have, then is it something that you can educate the individual about? Is it something that can be solved later on? Because you don't want to bring in a risk factor who then, gets to be the bad egg in terms of everyone else. So recruitment, there's got to be eyes on that. And then the culture design, basically, of the organization. What do you guys stand for? The business flow, how are you guys going to treat different issues in terms of both within the department, but also interoperability, between different departments and all like. So it's a multi-layered approach. But like I said, everything will have to start from recruitment. You need to make sure that you're getting in the right individual with the right mindset, who isn't just going to come and throw stones in the glass here.
So Daniel, what about your take on creating a culture of digital responsibility within the organization? How do we entrench it?
Yeah, so
from the security man at the gate to the highest person.
I like where Jack made reference to the point that I think quarterly they send notifications for everybody to be trained on data protection issues. Okay. That's a good thing. And Lupasing, we do these kind of trainings. We try to raise awareness, let every Ghanaian know that they have their rights. They have rights to how the data is used. Data ownership is with you, it sits with you. So training everybody, starting with top level, if you make them appreciate the importance of data protection and privacy, then the tech people can go in there, ask for a budget on how to improve the systems. It will be easy. HR can go in there, ask for a budget to train employees. It will be easy. When you bring everybody on board, what we're having, maybe every Friday we're having a meeting, when you start the topic, everybody's going to contribute, appreciate it.
All right.
It's a thing. So start from the top, let them appreciate it, and then bring it down, let everybody get into it, and it'll be easy to implement it.
Okay. All right. So Jackie, in summary, comparing the US environment to Ghana environment, how do you create an environment of digital responsibility within the Ghanaian organization and within the Ghanaian culture?
Great. So we'll start from creating the awareness.
Awareness.
We need the buy-in of our locals to know that it's equally important to prioritize compliance. It's not only the money-making machine of the company that we should focus on, at the expense of things that could just blow all that away. As simple as just one risk found in your organization, then you no longer have a business. So if we think of risk in that way, we think of compliance risk in that way, we don't sideline it. I think one of the reasons why now I'm glad there are HR firms like this one, where we are beginning to see the integral role that HR professionals play in a business system. It almost looked like HR was very mundane. You only recruit people. But even recruiting the right person, it's a skill. It's not simple to know from just a look at somebody to say you'll be the right fit for the job. It takes a lot more than what you see on the CV. So there has to be that intentionality to prioritize, bringing on the right people, building the right systems, willing to learn from the best practices. Because it's all around us. Thankfully, information is accessible now. So if you want to compare with some advanced systems, what they are doing, we can learn a thing or two. Then incorporate them as small as you can, even if you're an SME. Start from somewhere. Be intentional that you want to build a protected business. And that includes protecting your staff and the information that circulates within the organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So members, we have delved into data privacy in a digital workplace. As everything is being digitalized, we need to ensure privacy, we need to innovate, and we need to ensure compliance and employee trust. There are some employees, we call them, have you heard? So in the organization every morning, have you heard this? They are like the FM station of the organization. They cannot manage security. They cannot manage data. You have to be very careful. And so the human being is also the most important and really the weakest link in the data security and protection. We have mentioned that Ghana has passed an act, a law, the Data Protection Act since 2012. And so members, you need to read, acquire these copies of this act and read. All the things we talk about, you could have snipers in the Data Protection Act. We have the Cyber Security Authority Act. We have the Electronic Transactions Act. We have the NITA Act. We have the National Communications Authority Act. All this will guide you. So out of the Data Protection Act, we created Data Protection Commission, which ensures that data and all those stuff are entrenched with the organization. Members, those of us who are Christians, Bible says that on the last day, God will sit on the judgment seat and the books will be opened. So we are collecting data about everybody, and this data are stored in the clouds. I hope you are aware. And so God sits up in heaven and the clouds are before him. It will be very easy to judge you because all your records are there before him. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.
Let's appreciate them one more time. We can't wait for the judgment day. Hallelujah. All right, so we want to take a group picture, so kindly make your way here. All right, please stay for a few minutes. Doc, please stay for a few minutes, just so if people have questions. Alternatively, you can have your seat. If you want to answer, then you answer from your seat or from here, whatever works best for you. Let's give Doc a round of applause. Thank you so much for that moderation. Thank you. So if you have questions, please come to the middle, just as we did previously. If you have questions, come to the middle. The microphone will be given you. You have a question? All right, so there's a gentleman here. Any other person joining him? We are about to wrapping up, actually. Just one person. Okay, Chief, let's go. Your name, if you are comfortable, your organization, and then your question.
All right, so my name is Maoli from Magnum Insurance Brokers. I'm very happy about the fact that we talked about data protection because first of all, Data Commission first came to Magnum Insurance Brokers and told us about the fact that we had to register with data protection and all that. And then when they did, we were supposed to pay an amount, whatever we had to do, we did it. And then I asked the question that now that we are registered, what is the procedure for us to be very conscious of what we have to do in order to protect data, whether it's our client's data or the human beings we are working with and all those things, yeah. But then I never got any information. I went to the office and then the only thing I got, they were able to tell me is a third-party organization will engage us to train us on data privacy or data protection and all that, which was a concern I raised with my boss, and I looked forward to Data Commission actually working on that, but nothing of that sort actually happened. And so for the fact that we have this Data Commission to talk about data privacy and all those things, I'm really looking forward to Data Commission actually working on this to make sure that, there are systems in place and educate us more on data privacy. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me, I don't work with Data Protection Agency, though. It's a sister agency under Ministry of Communications, Digitalization and Innovation. So, I referred you to the Data Protection Act 843 of 2012. You can download it from any government site. And it will outline the processes you have to go through. So having registered with them, there are things that you ought to do. So I cannot speak in much detail with that, but only to refer you to the Act. And the Act will outline the various steps that you need to take in the absence of data protection. I think they were here in the morning. Fine. Yes.
So, sorry I had to go through all that. So like my boss, Doc, started work. Whatever we say, our mandate is not our doing. It's not we sat down and crafted something, no. That is the law. You're supposed to register, and that goes to every entity, every organization that collects personal data. You could be dealing with salespeople, your own employees. So far as you collect information on any other person, be it the name, phone number, address, everything, you're supposed to register with the commission. So that is your requirement. It's not we, Data Protection Commission, saying that. Now, when you're done with registering, that's the first step to compliance. We are going to provide a roadmap for you. It is there. We do that. We have compliance report that we ask series of questions, deep questions that set to set the tone for you to be on the road to compliance. And if you abide by them, renewal is every 2 years. Like,
add something about the data protection question. By law, every organization, as long as you collect someone's data, today in Ghana you are required. I think he's mentioned how far back the act was passed. Anyone who collects data from another Ghanaian or even a foreigner, you are expected to be registered with the Data Protection Commission. Some of us see it as unnecessary. But when it comes to your turn, when your data was supposed to be protected and it wasn't protected, and it lands you into a difficult situation, you understand. And at that time, you would have wished that you had also registered your organization. Sometimes we think it is not necessary, but one day somebody within your organization or some customer who decide to test the law, and it's not going to be, we had a conference some few weeks back, and the Minister of Education talked about the law itself is born from morality. But when it comes to law, it's not about facts. It's about law. Law is different from facts. And law is different from morality, because morality will say, but when the law catches up to you, they will judge it according to the law. So don't think that it is not necessary to register with the commission. Now, I'll give you an example of Lene. In Lene, I think as far back as 2006 or 7, we started complying with a UN guiding principle of managing workers or supplying labor. So we're audited every 3 years. And that helped us shape our processes. Then we went on to register with SEDEX. It's a UK organization. They monitor how we recruit and provide workers to work at other places. And we have to comply with the ILO conventions. Then it helps us shape our business more. Then we're introduced to ISO. And we registered and submitted ourselves for ISO certification. So you go through a lot of processes. Now, after going through that, and we have been managing a lot of data, both locally and internationally. So we used to comply with the Data Protection Act in the UK or Europe, because we really didn't know much about it. So the clients would tell us that we have to comply, so we're forced to. Then we got news about the act, and we decided to submit ourselves for registration. It was that easy because we have had a track record of, compliance. So Data Commission told us we have to go through training. We submitted ourselves, but we understand the value of it. Most organizations, when you are tendering for businesses and they ask for it, you just go and apply and get the certificate to go and present for your tender. But if they come to audit, you may see that there are a lot of gaps. So for me, it's a journey. Don't think that it's an unnecessary process or it's a worry. Just take the step and start from somewhere, and you will get there. Now, if you have a lot of processes that are in place, it will be easy for you to comply with the Data Protection Act. Now, for responsibility of digital or digitization or handling data in the office, a lot of us have trust in our friends, and we share passwords. Let me give you an example of what happened. So we are not roommates. In the office, remember, you are not roommates. It's not a dormitory or a hall that everybody has key to the room anytime. Your password is your key, and you got to protect it. When you protect your password, you are protecting yourself and the organization. One day, there was this lady. We provide workers to some of the telcos, and mobile money payment is now central business. This lady had a friend, a gentleman friend. And one day they were about to close from work at one of the customer service centers. So this gentleman drew closer to the lady, and the lady was doing a transaction for a customer. Entered her password. I'm talking about mobile money. So this gentleman quickly, captured this lady's password, her best friend in the office. After work, when the lady closed and left, the gentleman used the lady's credentials to transfer money to a colleague. That was a lot of money. I think it took us some time to refund the money to the organization. And we had to arrest the guy, get his family members, do undertaking and a lot. So password is very, very important. So keeping your password is part of the responsibility or being responsible in the way we manage data in the offices. And we all must learn some of these things. If we have to grow as SMEs, I've always said that you cannot implement your strategies or your policies the same way a bigger organization already has. It is important to have every policy in place, but start with little investment into it. When you grow with it and you are used to it, it even gives you credibility to get more business. So please, let's comply. And Lene will be doing there's ISO certification for HR. ISO certification or standards for HR. Lene will be partnering with the standard board